What's up, Viking fans? If you like free Minnesota Vikings videos, then we're your one-stop shop. Hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, because if this offseason has taught me anything, it's that anything can happen at any given time. So to make sure you never miss anything, hit that subscribe button. Coming up here on today's show, I'm going to be breaking down the Minnesota Vikings post-free agency biggest needs. I have them ranked from 5 all the way down to 1, and I'll also throw out a few names to keep in mind that Minnesota could still go ahead and sign. Now, before I get into that top 5, what do we do here at Chat Sports? We go above and beyond, and these didn't quite make my top 5, so I figured, sprinkle them in there a little bit as honorable mentions. You got center. The top center out there is J.C. Treader. Maybe it's not the biggest need, but he'd be a hell of a player in this offense. Defensive line, try to be able to figure out your Michael Pierce replacement. Is Danielle Hunter going to be 100% healthy? Offensive tackle, you're hoping Christian Darrisaw can lock it in on the left side. What about a right tackle? Maybe a Bobby Massey, a Riley Reeve, and then wide receiver. Your top 2 are absolute studs. Adam Thielen, though, is getting up there a little bit in age. Do you potentially go out and try to find somebody else? So here's what I want you guys to do. We're going to make this the pinned comment of today's show, so every single person that comes across this video, I want you to scroll on down. Let me know, what is the biggest need for the Minnesota Vikings? Let's get into the top 5. Coming in here at number 5, I have quarterback. But, Mitch, the Vikings have Kirk Cousins. You're right. They only have him on a 1-year deal, $35 million. I don't really fully believe that Sean Mannion is ever going to be able to start in the National Football League. Good backup. Kellen Mond, never thought that he was ever going to be worth the pick. So Cousins is in this, I like to call it the purgatory of NFL quarterbacks. Cousins is a good quarterback. Nobody thinks he's top 10, but also nobody's going to sit here and say, well, he's not even top 15. He's a good player, and he's put up some good numbers. However, there's no way that Cousins is ever going to lead you to a Super Bowl. And if you're an NFL team and you hear that, and if you know that, why would you keep him around? So as it stands, Cousins is the guy. And I'm not really sure that there's another quarterback out there in free agency that I think Minnesota should go out and get. I really don't. However, there are some other QBs that could be interesting in terms of the draft. Maybe a potential trade could be thrown out there. You're just in this situation where Cousins is good enough that there's nobody out there that you're going to be able to get better than him. However, you have to kind of lock it in as it stands right now. So you guys go ahead, be the GM here, make the call. Should the Vikings draft a quarterback? Since the ones in free agency, there's nobody there. Would you go ahead and at the 12th pick, let's say one of those top guys is there, a Kenny Pickett, a Malik Willis. Maybe you believe somebody like Matt Corral is one of the top quarterbacks. Sam Howell, Desmond Ridder. I don't know who it is, but if you think that the Vikings should draft a quarterback, type your Y for yes or your N for no. Now it's time to go to the offensive guard position. And for Minnesota, when your offense is essentially a run-first style of team, and then when you don't run, it's going to be a fake handoff that lets Cousins roll out, play action. That sets it up really nice. Garrett Bradbury stepped up well, I would say, as a center. But Ezra Cleveland and Jesse Davis, yes, they did just go out and get Jesse Davis. He's a below-average guard, and that's just me being 100% honest with you. Last season, Uda was one of the worst guards in all of football. He's your backup. Wyatt Davis, I get it, is a name to keep in mind. But the kid from Ohio State, I had a lot higher hopes for Davis. Could he already be on his way out? You know what I mean? Like, you need to have a good interior offensive line, Minnesota-wise, especially if you're going to try to run the football as much as they do. Coming in here at number 3. Yes, tight end sometimes gets spelled out a little bit, but again, in an offense where you're going to run the football, I want somebody out there that I can rely on. I have not been very impressed with Irv Smith. Yes, the Vikings did just go out and add Johnny Munt. They have Ben Ellefson, but I mean, let's be real, y'all. None of these options are all that great. Tyler Conklin, before he went to the Minnesota Vikings, I actually talked to him on Twitter for a little bit. He said he was excited for the opportunity. Conklin, never expected him to be anything all that great. If you would have told me a few years ago when they drafted him that he was going to have 61 catches, 593 yards, I probably would have told you you were crazy. But he's an average, below average tight end. So in terms of who are some other dudes that you could go out and get, the top tight end available is Rob Gronkowski. Personally, I think it is Rob. Rob either goes back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and plays with Tom Brady. The other option would be maybe going to Las Vegas, rejoining Josh McDaniels, but I really think it's either the Buccaneers or it's retirement for Gronk. The other name to keep in mind is somebody who I know you all know, Kyle Rudolph. Probably arguably one of the best tight ends that has ever come through Minnesota. And last season, played on the New York Giants. Looks like he lost a little bit of weight as well. You know that he can still block. He's going to be a plotter. He honestly, at this point of his career, reminds me a lot of Jason Witten. He's a smart football player. He's not going to blow anybody out of the water. He might beat you a few times on a break, but for him to catch a ball, it's not him outrunning anyone. It's essentially, he's like a big center going up for a rebound, and he's got to box you out. But Rudolph knows this offense. He knows what it takes to succeed in Minnesota, which is why I just think it makes the most sense to go out and get him. So Viking fans, what do y'all think about this one? Type S for sign or P for pass. Should Minnesota bring back Kyle Rudolph? I'm going to go ahead and type my S for sign. I think it'd be a really cool story. Coming in here at number 2, it's safety. And over the years, the Vikings have had just unbelievable safety play. I wish they would have been able to figure out a way to bring back Anthony Harris, but it is what it is. You have Harrison Smith, but Cameron Bynum, not all that impressive to me. Yes, you were able to bring back Patrick Peterson yesterday, but there's still other options out there. Xavier Woods, he left. He's now on the Carolina Panthers, which kind of puts you in this void of, okay, in this division, you need a free safety. I don't have a lot of anticipation that Justin Fields is going to come out and light the world on fire. With Aaron Rodgers, the 2 back-to-back NFL MVP, 4-time NFL MVP. So I think Bynum is good, and I should mention that. Bynum's a good player, but I'm looking for extra depth, and I'm looking for somebody who can make Bynum turn into a depth player, because if you have Bynum as a depth guy, that really improves your secondary from top all the way down to bottom. Now, I want to say major shout-out to everyone who has already subscribed. We crossed 3,000, and producer Jackie told me that, and I want to give you guys a round of applause because 3,000 subs is nothing to scoff at. But let's go ahead. Let's continue to raise the bar higher. We have channels here at Chat Sports that have over 120,000 subs. We have 2 channels over 100,000. Guess what those channels get? Videos every single day, sometimes multiple videos a day. They also go live at least once a week. Here at Chat Sports, the more subs you get, the more content you're going to get. So if you like free content, you like the Minnesota Vikings, then hit that sub button. The biggest team need here for Minnesota as it stands right now, I still see it being cornerback. But Mitch, the Vikings just re-signed Patrick Peterson. You're right, they did. And Cameron Dantzler's an okay option as well. He's long, he's lanky. But think about how many trade rumors there were last offseason around Cameron Dantzler. Also, you expect that you might have had Jeff Gladney. He's an idiot. He's no longer in the realm of possibilities. So as it stands right now, you're looking at a lot of these mock drafts out there, and sure, I'm excited that Peterson came back, and I think it was the right move. I think it was the move he should have made all along, but I still think you need another cornerback out there. When I go through and I talk to some of my NFL draft friends, I go ahead and I look at a lot of mock drafts. People still have, even after the Peterson signing, them drafting Derek Stingley Jr., the cornerback out of LSU. What's really going to be interesting is see how high Ahmad Sauce Gardner ends up going, because Sauce has always been my number 1 corner. I saw a mock draft the other day where he went number 2 to Detroit. If that happens, you could see other corners go a little bit higher in the draft, and Stingley's got good tape. And personally, I still think if I was Minnesota, I would go corner because of the need that's still there, because of the division that you're in. Patrick Peterson also said that he thought Derek Stingley would be a good fit in the defense. I don't know about y'all. That's the type of shit that I like to see go down. So here one more time, y'all, the biggest needs for the Minnesota Vikings after NFL free agency. At number 5, it's quarterback. Offensive guard is number 4, tight end, safety, and at number 1, it's corner. So what makes Chat Sports different? Yes, we come up here, we talk to all of y'all, but this is still the same as the pinned comment. So after going through all those names, after seeing everything that I did, what is the biggest need for the Vikings? So if you didn't go down that first time you got hit with that YouTube ad break, here's your opportunity to go down one more time. Now, if you're looking to stay up to date with everything going on around Minnesota, remember you can always give us a follow on Twitter at Chat Sports as well. We got an Instagram account. We got a Twitter account. We're breaking stuff down on NFL Daily. In fact, I was live yesterday on NFL Daily breaking down the Patrick Peterson move. So if you love the NFL, if you love the Vikings, look no further and go ahead and click that big old red button that says subscribe. And make sure you turn on those notifications. Everyone enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and if the Vikings do anything else, chances are I'll be back.